Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here with us to the final meeting of Digital Open Days by POLI.design, a society founded by Politecnico di Milano. I'm Sofia D'Alessandro, and I work in POLI.design International Affairs Office, and today we have the pleasure to be here with Professor Cabirio Cautela, who is the scientific director of our Master in Strategic Design for Innovation and Transformation, and he will be presenting some contents and insights from our master. Before leaving the floor to Professor Cautela, I would just like to remind you that at the end of the presentation, there will be time for a Q&A session. So you can start typing your questions in the dedicated chat box, and at the end, we will be answering. Thank you and enjoy.
Thank you, Sofia. I just try to make this presentation starting from a couple of premises. First of all, this is a new product, this is a new master, but on the other hand, it has an old heritage. Why? Because this can be considered a sort of spin-off, a sort of son or daughter, if you want, of our master in strategic design. But this master is in particular oriented to executive people, people that they have already a professional experience, and on the other hand is for the 85% of the hours an online master. So let me try to understand what are the premises of this master, what are the underpinning rationale that we want to leverage in order to create new kind of professional for the future, that they combine design logic, design science, and managerial expertise. In our master, what we want to create with the strategic design for innovation and transformation is a sort of new manager that is oriented on one hand to govern innovation processes with a design sensitivity, but on the other hand, being able to transform the organization in order, let's we say, to move forward and to move in the new kind of let's we say, the new world of the digital transformation. So this is a master that mainly wants to create this kind of professional manager in order that they are able to imagine a new kind of meaningful innovation. So this is a school, this is a system where the meaning innovation is one of the pillars that we created in the last 10 years, that it's something that goes behind the concept of technology innovation and the concept of a market pool innovation. On the other hand, this kind of person, this kind of manager should be able to engage employees, to engage partner, to engage stakeholder in innovation process. So he is a manager that is able to be the champions of some innovation inside the organization. On the other hand, this kind of manager is a manager that is able to exploit and leverage the digital transformation, but on the other hand, linking this kind of digital transformation to new way to operate, a new way to govern the innovation process inside, let's we say, the organization. Lastly, this kind of manager is a manager that does not have the whole the tools of the managerial science, but he is more an entrepreneur. He is a person that in a certain way is able to catch and engage new opportunities that become from the market or become from the social environment of the company. So in very few words, these kind of manager capabilities are in order to match and merge some innovation logics in order to respond to new market, but on the other hand, is able to transform the organization according to the new digital technologies. In order to develop this master, what we imagined, what we in a certain way searched for a longer period, is what this kind of company, from Visa to Nestlé, from Frog to Amazon, from PepsiCo to JP Morgan, we made a research in order to understand what are the new kind of design manager that this kind of company they search for. What are the capabilities and competencies that they want in the design manager? Maybe it's not a novelty for you, or maybe it's a novelty for you, but in this moment, the design manager is one of the most required, if you want, innovation manager, not only by the classical manufacturing sector, but also by new sector like food and beverage, like banking, like insurance, or other kind of financial or logistic players, like, for example, Amazon. So this is to say that we started from this kind of reality, we started from this data in order to design this new, let's we say, figure, this new kind of design manager. Who is for us, let's we say, this kind of design manager? For sure, he has different kind of capabilities, starting from analytical capabilities, because at the end of the day, we are creating a manager, and the manager has to tackle and to cope with numbers, with the facts, with the figures of the company profitability, of the market, let's we say, rentability, of other kind of bold or weak numbers. On the other hand, is a sort of design accelerator. What does it mean? That he is able to govern very short and sprint execution processes inside the organization in order to launch on the market new product and new services. But on the other hand, he is a design broker. And when we say a design broker, it means a figure that is able to catch some stimuli from a sector and bringing them in another sector in order to provide a new kind of opportunity. But he is also a design mentor with his team, also with a sort of pedagogical and educational goal in order, in a certain way, to spread out in the organization a design culture. But he is also a design interpreter, because he is on the edge of the organization in order to interpret the signals, weak or strong, that they come from the ecosystem and from the entire market. At the end, what we say is also a human catalyst. Why? Because he has to bring into the product, into the service, into the business model, the human touch, the human being-centric culture that usually a designer has in his own toolkit. What are the main blocks? What is the main structure of the master? The main structure of the master can be simplified in 4 main blocks. In particular, the first is called innovation and design. The second is about leadership and engagement. The third is about data and creativity. And the fourth is about design, operation, and the organization transformation. In the first block, there are different kind of lectures and concepts that are related to the strategy concept, but in particular with the lens of design. So you will face concepts like innovation strategy, design strategy. What does it mean to live and operate in a design-intensive sector? In the second block, we will deal and cope with the concept of leadership and engagement. So a lot of concept about creativity management in teams, a lot of concept in leading teams with design, or also other concept that they become from the sociology and the psychology in governing, let me say, the team, will be delivered. In the third block, this is a sort of novelty, because as a Polytechnico, we are addressing a lot of research about the role of data in creative processes. And in particular, in this block, we try to mix up the logic of creativity, but in particular, the logic of creativity in front of data. So what does it mean tackling with data? What does it mean operating with data? There are different kind of data, big data, thick data, and the designer today, he has to, in a certain way, to disentangling and to be immersed in this kind of world, interpreting data, giving a direction to data, trying to, in a certain way, extrapolate and abstract insight from data. The fourth block is about the design ops and transformation, in which the main concept is the concept of design operation. A lot of people believes that the creativity spurs from, let's we say, the subjectivity of the individuals. This is completely contrary to the reality that we have in front of us. And in particular, there are a lot of companies that they are creating this kind of manager of design operation, that is the person that organizes the creativity processes, and in this way try to transform the organization structure and the culture inside of it. So this is to say that there are these four main blocks, and to each blocks there are at least 4 or 5 modules that they try to go in depth about the title of each block. This kind of master, on the other hand, just because it is mainly for the 80-85% online, it is organized also around 4 kind of experiences that are partially physical and partially governing by online. The 2 digital bootcamps are 2 bootcamps that they will be delivered online, and in which the student and the participant will face some design challenges from companies. And this kind of bootcamp will be delivered in an online mode. On the other hand, we have 2 kind of experiences that we call face-to-face factory. These kind of factory, these kind of experiences are provided in a physical manner, and in particular, they are directed to enlarge your networking, to, in a certain way, breathe 2 different design culture, because I will say what are these kind of design culture, and then to leave some workshop with some expert and manager of different kind of design-driven companies. The 2 cities that are involved in these 2 face-to-face factories are the city of Milan and the city of Chicago. Milan, because Politecnico in Milan and POLI.design is here in this campus, where we will be able and glad to host you in this kind of 1-week experience. On the other hand, we have a partnership with Illinois Institute of Technology in Chicago, and so the other face-to-face factory will be lived in Chicago with different managers and scholars that they live the Chicago design and the culture of design in Chicago. If we want to, in a certain way, summarize the face-to-face factory and what happened in this kind of experience, we can, in a certain way, just show a very basic triangle in which there are 3 polarities. One is oriented to spread and to brief this kind of design culture in the 2 cities of design. The other is about to get some inspirational workshop with the professional and manager that will present their brief and their challenges, certain of grand challenges that they are facing with their startup or multinational. And the third polarity of this graph is to understand that these are moments in which you have to interact with different kind of professional of design, that they come from all over the parts of the world, in Milano both, but also in Chicago. Lastly, this is one of the graphs that we use in order to show up the timeline of the master, in which you can see the sequence of the different building blocks of the master. The first is to, in a certain way, provide the measure coordinates of the master around the concept of innovation, design, and strategy. The second block is about leadership and engagement. The third is the diving into data and creativity, and the fourth is about the design, operation, and transformation. If you see the purple, let me say, circle, they are related to the 2 bootcamp that they will happen online. On the other hand, there are the 2 face-to-face factory that they happen in the month of October in Chicago, and in the month of March in Milano, in which there will be also the closing of the master. You will see at the end, in which there is, as the final milestone, the project work that is the final work that we ask for to get the final certificate of the master. Why this kind of path is unique, as it was a strategic design more than 20 years ago when Politecnico di Milano launched this kind of master. Today we can say that on the same page, this kind of master is unique for at least 6 elements. The first one is that you will interact with the scholars that they are embedded in the international community, the scientific community, and they are well known for their concept, their theories of innovation, their concept about design evolution, if you want, and in particular, all the updated study about design and AI or design and data. The second is that you will have the possibility to meet different ambassador and expert of design that they collaborate with other faculty, with our faculty, and in particular there are people from Vodafone, from Deutsche Telekom, from other kind of multinational, from Nestle to PepsiCo, that you will have the possibility to meet and to face in different kind of interactive session. Then there is the opportunity to leverage an online course with other trusted, if you want, platform that is in collaboration with the Microsoft. Then there are the boot camp that we present as a way to understand also how to be involved in creative teams from a remote environment. And so this is the present, this will be the future of the work, in which more and more and more there will be growing experiences around this kind of coupling, working at home, working in a remote mood, but on the other hand, interacting with people and interacting with the teams in order to conceive the innovation. And then there will be a workshop that they are led by design-driven companies, and also the brief will be related to design challenges that you will face during the bootcamp and during the face-to-face, let me say, experiences. Lastly, this is a unique opportunity to enlarge your network of professional or manager of scholars that they will intervene during this master. The last slide is just a slide in which we present the formal requirement for the selection. Now we are starting the selection for the SDIT of the 2024 that will start in March. In any case, the application form has to be delivered with this kind of web address that is apply.gisom.polimi.it. That is the web address about the application from our business school in Politecnico. The application fee in order to apply is 100 euros because we select just motivated people that they want to really be recruiting for this kind of path. And you have to present in this kind of application process your CV, the university degrees and the program that you attended with the motivation letter, and if you have other kind of references and the personal, let me say, documentation. What are the admission requirements? This is important to understand. We have the Master in Strategic Design that is completely oriented to post-bachelor student that usually they do not have a significant working experience before. Instead, this kind of master, that is Master in Strategic Design for Innovation and Transformation, is addressed to people that they already have at least 3 years of working and a professional experience before this kind of path. Finally, the price of this kind of experience as an individual, as a private citizen, if you want, is 6,000 euros, to which, let me say, there is a split between Politecnico and the student fee. And for companies, for their employees, there is this kind of fee that is 19,000 euros. So for any kind of additional information and question, you can refer to this kind of mail address that is info-executive-masters at gsom.polimi.it. I think that it's enough from my side, just as a brief presentation of this master, as an overview of this master, and I'm open to discuss with you for any kind of question.
Thank you so much, Professor Cautela, for this very insightful and detailed presentation. So now we can start the Q&A session. I can see we already have a question from home. So the question is, since the classes will be online, could you please kindly explain if they will have to be attended in streaming or if they are registered to be watched offline?
Yeah. There is a 20-25% of the overall amount that will be delivered in an asynchronous way. It means that there are clips of 7-8 minutes for each kind of concept that are diluted among, I don't know, strategy, corporate strategy, entrepreneurship, basic of leadership, organization transformation. So let's we say, the classical concept of the first block, there is a percentage of 20-25% that is asynchronous. On the other, it's mainly streaming, so it means that it's mainly synchronous. And in order to understand the time zone in which there will be the streaming is between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. in Europe, let's we say in Chester time zone, so Rome time.
Great, thank you very much. Another question is, which are the activities that will be done during the bootcamp, especially in Chicago?
Yes, there are different activities that just 3 days ago they came back from these kind of experiences, so I didn't have the time in a certain way to take all the notes about what they did, but for sure there are cultural trips that are about some museum and design, let's we say, container of the city. Then there are different visits to some companies and startups in which they in a certain way met different design manager in order to understand what does it mean to be a design manager in California, what does it mean to be a design manager in some startup, and in particular also in consolidated and traditional sector. And then there is a workshop that is a sort of sprint that is run in a couple of days with some local professor and manager that they work in the IIT.
Great, thank you. We also have another question. How is this course different from the specializing master in strategic design?
Yeah, it is different for many reasons. I try to get a very short point about that. First of all, it's different about the content because master in strategic design is in a certain way unbalanced on the concept of innovation, but there are not a lot of concepts related to the organization management, to the organization transformation. So first of all, the eyes of the master of strategic design are toward the external part of the organization and not toward the internal side of the organization. The second point is that in the Master of Strategic Design, usually there are a lot of architects and designers that they want to be the future manager of designer. Instead, in this kind of master that is SDIT, there are a lot of managers that they want in a certain way to earn the design side of the innovation problem. And then it's different because when we have the master in strategic design that is physically lived and physically experienced, you have the possibility to make a lot of workshop and a lot of, let's we say, dirty hands on the job. Instead, in the SDIT, there are limited windows in which you can, in a certain way, make these kind of dirty hands on the job. And then these are two different products because one is for executive, this is SDIT, and the other is for post, let's we say, bachelor students.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Professor Cautela. I think we don't have any other questions. So I would like to thank you all for being with us during this final meeting of Digital Open Days. If you have any further questions or you would like to know anything else, just feel free to contact us to the addresses you find on our website. We're always happy to get in touch with you. So thank you again and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.